to our My Jong Law Horn Pai program for this Wednesday. This is going to be our first run through with the My Jong as we start to transfer from 1 to 3 into number 4. So what I'm going to start doing for the next little while is we've been doing individual exercises. We're going to continue some of those, but we're going to use 1 to 3 as a lot of our warm-up and calisthenic ideas, because that's a lot of what Tam Tuey is. Tam Tuey is supposed to be a building set. It's supposed to build coordination. It's supposed to build aerobic capacity as we get going. There's 12 pieces to this. It's supposed to build flexibility, range of motion, that continuity from core to extremity, all those things we want to get out of this set, as well as starting to look at more and more, or continuing to look at some of the sequences that can be practically applied. Let's get ourselves, for those just joining, let's get warmed up a little. Just let the head rise and fall. And looking from side to side. And shoulder to shoulder. Let the head roll one side and the other. And shoulders back. And shoulders forward. Good. Arms can circle one way. And arms can circle the other. We'll reach and lean to one side and the other. And let's go with our waist loosening exercise so the legs stay fairly consistent as we twist through the trunk and let the arms go nice and loose. One of the big things about my Jung is the ability to turn the body into feeling like a whip. So we want to be able to move the core and the limbs stay loose and flexible. Let's do some downwards diagonals. Good. Let's do some rising diagonals. Turn the trunk, not the ankles. Yeah, some horizontals. Some downwards verticals. So much is accomplished by keeping the upright axle of the spine and being able to rotate around the spine to create, and then we'll go rising to create a lot of our moves. We've got 2 major places we move from in terms of direction changes and rotations, and that's hips and the spine. Okay, let's warm up the hips, roll them around one way and around the other. Keeping some more range of motion work from the inside to the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From the outside to the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, hands behind the head and try to get elbow and knee cross, cross. Last couple. Good. Okay. We are doing my Jung, but we have been stealing a warm-up exercise from the Kalari Payat system. We're going to go hands up over the head, and we're going to try and get really loose through the hip. So we really want the leg to feel like almost like dead weight. It lifts and comes back. 1 and 2. Good. So if you don't have a lot of room, take small steps or even stay stationary a little. But sometimes we want to focus on the hamstring part and we don't get the quad part. We really want the leg loose on that quad stretch and activation, hamstring activation and quad stretch. Let me go about another 10 or 15 seconds here. Okay, well, let's continue on some flexibility and mobility. So we're going to turn, we're going to lunge. And we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to turn and lunge. Good. We're going to go both feet forward, lunge to one side. And to the other. Again to the first side. And the second. I'm going to go toe up to the ceiling one side. And to the second. Both feet can face forward, and we'll walk in the feet. Try to keep the hands on the floor. And then we can roll to come back up. Okay, let's go through a few of our foundation exercises, and we'll jump into 1 to 3. So, feet a little wider than shoulder width. One of the goals of this exercise is to be very, very, very fluid with transferring mass by thrusting from one leg and folding into the other and letting that spiral out to the punch. 1. Then we've got our gnaw, our C's. We're practicing how to wrap, grab, connect to the core, and pull. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then we're slipping under. This is one of the main kind of deflections of this system. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. One more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Come on up for a second. So one of the other ones we've been working on is being able to twist into the waist, but also twist in the hip. So these first ones, we're kind of working on a narrower stance. Now let's work on that hook punch, straight punch combo. So we're going to shift all the way around. So we're hitting to the side. We're going to pull down, and then we're going to twist back to punch. We're going to go around, pull, snap back. We really want that snap back. Think of sitting down and driving out. 1, 2, 3. So this hip is shoving that hook, and then our other hip drives the punch. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Awesome. Come on up. Okay, last of the individual drills for now, and that is coordinating that punch and kick at the same time. So weight's going to stay mostly in the front leg. The back leg is going to be able to lift and touch. So we're going grab, kick, punch, punch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Change to the other foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Okay. Let's head into 1 to 3. So let's start with section 1. We're going to go slow. We're going to look at some of the calisthenics, some of the range of motion work first. So we're facing feet together. We've got our opening, that back of hand, coil, palm, punch. We were talking about this lead jab for a couple of weeks, where we get the feeling of being able to tuck the shoulder blade, pull the rib cage around, sink the weight into the right leg, and then push through. So we're going to call this open side waist. We've got both arms up. If we want range in the lead arm, we withdraw the shoulder and rib cage of the back arm. See how that kind of works? We can go release, push, release, push, release, push. Okay, next thing we're doing, we're learning how to shuffle in. We've got to put a bit of weight into the back leg to create some spring, because we're going to shift that front foot and turn it to the lateral while creating an elbow with this arm. Bang. Now here we're going to settle, and then we're going to swing through. You can do a little shift in the foot, but if you really want to work that waist, you're going to turn the hip. Remember we were talking about the holding the buckets moment here. We kind of have the arms down, and then what you're going to do is you're going to twist the trunk and close sideways. Now what's tricky here is getting that back shoulder not to lift and cramp or pull, but turning through the trunk. So again, if I want to reach, I can release the ribs, twist the ribs, release the ribs, twist. Now in this case, we're thinking about a rising motion. Quite often where we might be grabbing an arm here and smashing up against the elbow to hyperextend it, or we might just turn that into an uppercut or a straight self-defense top fist up into the groin. Now we create a spiral. We're keeping that open waist. We're spiraling. We're cracking with the backs of the knuckles. Then we settle this down, and we're going to come off that back foot and kick low. Now we're going to pull back, draw that through, drive it out, and we're on the other side. So again, if we want to go push, release, twist, release, twist, and then we shuffle in, settle. Now that big twist through, I'm shifting the weight forward, and I'm turning into that closed side. If you really shove that back heel in the ground, you'll get a pretty decent calf stretch. Then we're going to circulate around, drop, kick low, and again, we want to pull the insides and punch. One more time on the left side, so we shuffle in, we smash down. Here comes that nice closed sideways stretch. Stretch it all out as long as you can get those arms away from each other. Don't pull the shoulders up, rest them down, circulate. Back fist, settle. Kick low, punch out, step up, palm, punch. Let's do that with a bit of flow. So we're going to go pull, lunge punch, shuffle elbow, throw, rising up, back fist, settle, kick, punch, shuffle in, down, up, back fist, settle, kick, punch. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, settle, kick, punch, shuffle up, palm, punch. Good. Let's head into section 2. So, section 2, we start out with our lateral position. We maintain our horse rider's position, so we're working on core strength. We're going to draw back the left elbow. We're going to turn the trunk. We're going to rotate so the palm faces out, but our knees stay over top of the toes. So we've got this nice working. You can even, again, you want to work some strength, pull that elbow back, release it. Pull the elbow, push the punch. Then we draw down and we sit down and punch out. Now we're going to slip underneath. We're going to curve the wrist. We're picking up the block on the back of the wrist. As we shift, we slip under and we twist through and punch. So here's a closed side waist punch. So I want to go pull back, release, pull back. Notice how you pull that left side shoulder blade, that right fist comes out. We roll our back fist and then we go kick and punch. I pulled this back so much, it just wants to release into that kick and punch. Now, as I'm stepping in, I'm going to step, I'm going to start to pivot into my lateral and circulate my left hand around. And now here I've got that twist, release, twist, release. I'm staying in the horse, I'm turning. I drop down, punch out, slip underneath, and drive from your back hip, twist and punch. Back fist, wind it up. Feel that right elbow, right rib cage, pull back. So it's set up for this punch. I kick and punch. I'm stepping in, I'm circling around. So I'm coming into center, and then I'm turning that waist. One, right, pull, pull, drop down, punch. Slip under, punch. There's my closed side waist again. Back fist, kick. Sorry, back fist, kick and punch. Back to number 1. Then we're going to step in, hook punch, settle, straight punch. Now we shuffle up. So I do release this right leg a little to shuffle in. Shuffle in, palm, punch. Let's do that with a little bit more fluidity. 1, 2, 3. Slip under, punch. Back fist, kick and punch. Step through, hook punch, straight punch. Slip under, punch. Back fist, kick punch. Hook punch, straight punch. Slip under, punch. Back fist, kick punch. Hook punch, straight punch, shuffle in, palm punch. Good. You can feel there's a lot of work going on in the body. These are exercises. So let's move to number 3. Number 3 starts out like number 1. So that idea of being able to, if I exaggerate so it's visible on camera, this idea of being able to pull back here, push out here, pull back, step in, pull back, step in. It's a great way to throw a moving lead jab. So I'm going to go, I've done my back fist, palm, punch. I'm pulling back, I'm shuffling into that lead. Now there's a lot of work on twisting in this one. So I'm going to shift my back foot a little. I'm going to think about putting some weight inside my arm here, because one of the things I'm thinking about doing here is how to throw over. So if I had somebody and I've kind of grabbed them around the waist and I'm throwing them over my hip and leg. We also said it could be an uppercut, but let's think about it this way. So we come over, down, and as I'm coming down here, I want to wind up this other side so that it can uppercut. Then I'm going to drop both arms. This gets very whippy. I'm going to turn my waist across the closed side to wind up. And as I swing my foot around a little, I release as a whip. I'm turning. I'm whipping through a back fist. And now, instead of coming up to the closed side, This exercise goes over and down into that closed side. Oh, again, here we are on that closed side waist. We're going to circle through. Boom. We're going to settle. We're going to kick and lunge punch. So here's our opening. Kick them in the shins, punch them in the jaw. Over and over. Great opening. So I'm going to go, imagine some weight here. Pull that over. Now we're turning. We're going closed side waist to wind up. And then we're going open side to drive up inside. We then go back to our closed side. And there's a hidden little back fist in here where we're coming around, a deflection or a back. So I hit one, and then I spit this out. I push out of my leg. I drop my shoulder and elbow, and I let this drop in. As I plant into my hip, I rotate into that hip, and then I come over, and I set up my closed side waist. Boom. Back fist, settle, kick, punch. One more time. I drive through to a closed, hook down, punch up. Settle, coil, release. Back fist over the top, hammer, back fist, settle, kick, punch, shuffle up, turn lateral, palm, punch. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're looking for as we get going with this kick punch is we want fluidity. Over, up, back, around, back, this kick punch. And we're learning how to turn around our center without throwing our head. We want to turn by keeping an upright spine. Over and up, back and through, back, this kick, punch, shuffle up, palm, punch. Okay, time is doing its thing. It's zipping on by, and we need to start thinking about section 4. So the first thing we started working on for section 4 over the last few classes in January was another waist exercise. Turn, and we pull in. This is a great grip release where someone's holding on, and we curve our wrist and we push our elbow forward and draw our wrist back. So it's not about pulling in. It's about leveraging through. And then we had this hand coming up, and we cleared that hand, protected the face. We try to tuck this shoulder in as much as possible because it's a range of motion exercise. And then we push out to punch. So we go twist, pull this in, clear the hand, open it up, punch out. To the other side, up, pull down, open the hand up, punch out. 1, 2, 3. 1, and you want to hear this. You're pulling. You're clearing. You can use the edge of the hand. You can use the top of the head. There's different ways we can sometimes call augmented grip release. We're clearing that hand. Someone's pinned that hand. Boom, we're going to clear it, and then we're going to fire it back into place. 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We are going to introduce crane hand in section 4. So if you haven't done much crane hand before, this is where we bring the fingers together to kind of make a bit of a pyramid, thumb underneath, pinky tucked. And we want to try to get a flat, striking surface. Now again, these are calisthenics. It's about building forearm strength, wrist strength, tendon strength. And so you think about hooking into that position. If you've done some mantis before, you've seen these kind of draw and hook and pull, draw and hook and pull. So we have this wiping and then pulling. And it's kind of teaching us a sequence, a sequential way of gripping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the elbow drops and anchors to the body. drops, anchors to the body. So we're going to get a nice big crane motion. And we're going to see some similarities to things like single whip in number 4. So we're going to start thinking about what's called the cutting edge of the hand, where we're pressing the edge down and we're hitting with that edge of the palm. There's so many different palm strikes in traditional martial arts because they didn't tend to hammer on the head with their fists. They found ways to use safer parts of their hands to hit. So you've got sort of a flat palm heel where you're driving in, but the cutting palm, we're kind of turning the edge of the hand and we're driving that bottom corner in. So we're hitting with that edge of the hand, cutting palm. Okay, so we've got that is going to go on inside of here, but we've got some really interesting step patterns we're going to have to figure out. For those people who do not like hook stance, I'm sorry to say that we've got hook stance going on again. We were just doing so much hook stance in the Xingyi. So let's have a look at just a couple of the movements from here. So I've finished section 3 with my palm punch combo. I'm going to start this out with a spear hand. So my right hand is going to open. Now, remember that exercise we just did where we pulled the hand across? But now what we're going to do is we're going to step. And as we swing our right hand through, we're going to go into a hook stance. We're going to clear and we're going to punch. Yeah, tricky stuff. So we go spear, draw across the body. So I'm pulling this across. I'm letting this hand go low. Here's a back of hand swat to the groin. And then I'm going to hook stance because this is all about calisthenics. So I'm working on finding that central point and folding into my hip. And I'm clearing. Oh, so much waist work. I want to pull that left elbow in, open up the hand and release. Then I'm going to go crane. And I'm going to step back and cutting palm. So I've got my crane over here, and I've got my cutting palm, and I've got a closed side waist. So easy. Let's try it again before we close off today. So we go stinky thumb technique. We've gone spear. I'll do this facing the other way in a second. And we're going to learn it on both sides. So I'm stepping. I'm coming across, hook stance, clear. Oh, a lot of waist work. Open and punch. Then I'm going to hook into crane. And I'm going to scoop through my hip. And as I step back, I'm going to press out that cutting palm. I'm going to do a closed side waist twist. And oh, look at the range of motion for my shoulder now. I'm going to try to raise the fingers up towards the sky while doing my closed side waist. So there's lots of, if you want to call it, lots of yoga, lots of positions of turning and twisting, or what's referenced in Kung Fu as coiling. Coil through the inside. Get those open and closed waist coils so they come out into the arm. So from here, I'm working a little bit on this idea of tripping, where I'm hooking around, catching the base or behind somebody's head, and I'm sweeping. Or I've grabbed a wrist and I'm pulling, and I'm using that foot. Now we get all this exaggerated hook stance work, but that is the calisthenic part. So a few more minutes before we close. So 1, 2, step, clear, open, punch, hook, swing through. I'm putting weight in the right. I'm stepping back with the left. Let me do that facing towards the camera, just give you some details if you're coming back to it on the archive. So I've done my punch. 1, 2, oh, this is such a hard posture. 3, I'm trying to pull and punch out. Reach and hook and cutting palm. Last time for today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to end up going hook over and pierce. So our Tai Chi people are going to recognize that from our Tai Chi class this morning. Weight doesn't change though. Okay, let's let it go for today. Lots of work on that body. All that work to try and get that. Remember, closed side, open side, closed side. There's so much of this work. Lateral, shift, lateral. All these kind of movements. Being able to turn without throwing your head. So keeping the head upright as we turn from side to side. All right, you could just do a drill, a throwing drill. One side throw, other side throw, one side throw for our number 3 exercise. Okay, shoulders back, shoulders forward, arms can circle one way and the other. Shake it all out. Excellent. Thanks for training hard today. I'm good. If you got any questions, let's stick around. If you're catching it on the archive, give me a text or an email. I will bring answers into the next class for you. We'll see you soon.